Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Jay, MorninAfterKill, and obviously, by the title of this video that you just clicked on, today we're gonna be discussing a fairly sensitive topic within the Borderlands community. And that is, with Borderlands 3's release on the foreseeable horizon, will we see a Yoteslaya Easter egg, or even a brief mention, reference, or memorial in-game for our fallen Vault Hunter? And it's a question that I get over and over and over again on YouTube and on Twitch, and normally I either ignore it in my chat or I just delete the comment and I move on about my day because, well, anytime there's a mention of Yoteslaya, the comments usually turn into a shit show of just probably some of the worst shit you've ever read online about a guy who isn't even here to defend himself. It's absolutely ridiculous. But unless I address this here and now and have a point of reference on the topic to move forward from, then it's only gonna get worse the closer we get to Borderlands 3. So today, let's discuss why I'm close to 100% sure that you will never, ever see an Easter egg, a weapons flavor text, or even a legitimate direct reference to Yoteslaya in the Borderlands franchise. But before we get into the reasons why you won't see a memorialization of Yote in Borderlands, let's discuss the reason why we probably should see one in Borderlands. Because whether you like him or not, you can't deny the fact that Yoteslaya was a very big reason that Borderlands 2 reached as many people as it did. Prior to Borderlands 2, there was almost zero Borderlands YouTube presence. You know, YouTube 2011 was dominated by multiplayer FPS games like Call of Duty, Battlefield, and yes, I know some of you guys don't want to admit it, but yeah, y'all motherfuckers was playing Minecraft. I was too, so it was a totally different landscape than what you see now. Now, I remember myself, when I first started uploading Borderlands 2 to YouTube, you know, people were taken aback. They were like, what? Who the hell covers a campaign-only game? Ain't nobody gonna watch this shit. But people did. People watched the hell out of it. And while some of the original content creators like me, Master Kiz, and Arlise, and we were enjoying some awesome YouTube channel growth from Borderlands 2, but it was nothing on the scale of what Borderlands did for Yote's channel, but also, in turn, what Yote did for Borderlands. You know, prior to Borderlands, Yote was primarily a Call of Duty Zombies and Battlefield content creator. You know, he had somewhere upwards of like 100-some thousand-ish subscribers before Borderlands 2 even launched. And, you know, this is YouTube 2012. 100,000 subscribers back then was pretty much equivalent to almost 1 million nowadays. You know, having 100K back in the day was pretty big fucking deal. But it was his unique crossover appeal from the Call of Duty community to Borderlands that not only blew up his channel, but also exposed a very large FPS audience to a game that they probably wouldn't have ever given a shot if it wasn't for him. You know, back in the day, this whole YouTube thing was so new, and it was a very common misconception with developers that the game made the content creator. But here we are 6 years later, we have direct correlative evidence that, in fact, having a large positive leader of a community can keep a game going even when content is light or repetitively stale. You know, we've seen it with Gothalion and Destiny, Dr. Disrespect and PUBG, and most recently, Ninja with Fortnite. Like, Fortnite wouldn't be anywhere near as big as it is without Ninja. So, to try to take credit away from Yoteslaya as an early leader, and not just Borderlands, but also the gaming community at this point, you know, amassing over 500,000 subscribers and exposing the game to a community that otherwise would have written it off as cartoony kids game with no PvP, it would be completely irresponsible to try to take that credit away from Yote. However, if we solely weigh the man's contributions in life on this merit and this merit alone, he definitely deserves an Easter egg, a weapon flavor text, or at least a reference in the game. But sadly, when we discuss the value of a person's contributions, we also weigh them against the values of their actions in their personal lives as well. Well, Yote's last actions in life were, for lack of better words, pretty fucking shitty. He, his brother Ryan, and Ashley were involved in a fatal car crash. A crash which sadly involved alcohol at the time. You know, they were out partying at a lake in the backwoods. They got drunk, and Yote, who ironically was recently arrested for drunk driving, let his brother Ryan drive, who was also drunk. And honestly, it doesn't even matter who was driving. At that point, no one should have been behind the wheel. But again, hindsight is 2020. They came across the railroad crossing, and anyone who's ever lived in the country near a railroad crossing knows that you can be stuck waiting for a train to pass for 35, 45 minutes, sometimes even longer. I myself, living out in Merced, California, have been stuck waiting an hour and a half for a train to pass at 2 o'clock in the morning. I just turn my car around and go to Sonic and get myself a cherry limeade, because bitch ain't sitting at a railroad crossing for an hour and a half waiting for a goddamn train to go by. Sadly, instead of doing so, Ryan tried to punch the gas and get across the road before the train made it. And you know, when you're drunk, your depth perception is not what it is, and all passengers in the truck died that night. And I know these details for a fact. I've seen the police report firsthand. I've spoken to both Nova and his family after this. You know, contrary to the popular belief, Yote wasn't driving. However, like I said before, it was his truck. It was his responsibility to say no. And with his recent DUI, in all fairness, he should have said no. But again, hindsight is 2020, and no one deserves to lose their life for a bad decision. Sometimes people do, and as sad as it is that they didn't survive, at least the one positive you could take from this situation is that no one else outside of their vehicle was hurt because of their irresponsibility. But you know, that's the issue when it comes to memorializing Yoteslaya. Irresponsibility with alcohol and motor vehicles can lead towards innocent people being hurt. There's a lot of people out there that have had their friends and family injured or killed by drunk drivers. It's a very serious issue that comes with some very serious consequences, and it sucks that all of Brian's contributions have been overshadowed by this one act of irresponsibility. But with so many people out there that are affected by this, with their lives cut short, families torn apart, changed forever, just due to the fact that somebody was drunk driving irresponsibly and hurt an innocent person, you know, it would be just as irresponsible for Gearbox to celebrate a person who would probably still be here with us, along with all the other victims of intoxicated driving, simply if they made a better choice that night. Like I said, the fact that so many people are affected by drunk driving across the world means that even if Gearbox wanted to make a direct reference to Yote, the incident itself is so prolific that they just can't do it. It's in the best business judgment sense. They cannot do it without risking offending those whose lives were altered due to the irresponsibility of other people behind the wheel. Torg said it best in the Torg DLC.
Alcoholism destroys families!
It does. And you can pretty much goddamn guarantee with a line like that thrown into Borderlands 2, somebody in Gearbox has been affected by drunk driving. At the very least, at least one person has, to make that line relevant inside of a DLC. So I can 99.9% guarantee you that you will not see an official Easter egg dedicated to Yote. Maybe you might see something slipped in there that's kinda quasi almost related to Yote, but just vague enough for Gearbox to have some plausible deniability to throw their hands up and be like, I don't know what you're talking about. That could be a million other people, but definitely is kind of in reference towards Yote. But as of an official dead to balls Yoteslaya Easter egg, I don't think you're gonna see one at all. Although I'm willing to see Gearbox prove me wrong on this one, but I'm fairly certain they won't. So my name's Jay, MorninAfterKill. I want to thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys rate, comment, subscribe. If you leave a thumb up on the video, I'd highly appreciate it because it gives me motivation to make more videos for y'all motherfuckers that watch my motherfucking videos. But just do me one favor, guys. Whether you liked him or not, try to keep this comment section civil. I know a lot of you guys out there have been affected by drunk driving and, you know, have a very strong opinion on this. And I know a lot of you guys have a lot of love for Yote and have a very strong opinion on this, but please, can we keep the comment section civil? I'm not one for disabling comment sections. I feel like everybody should be able to have their say on a given topic. But if you guys take it too far, I just might. But please, keep it civil for once. My name's Jay, MorninAfterKill. Thanks for watching, and I'm gonna see y'all motherfuckers later.